Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Risen Esports Rampage Open as the Fat Booty Inspectors take on Team Name Pending. I'm your play-by-play caster, Milky Cereal, and joining me in the commentary booth is Matt. How you doing?
Doing pretty good.
Right, and we are straight into picks and bans, and we were taking a look at some of the players. What could we expect to see coming through? And one of the biggest things, especially for me, is when you look towards FBI, the Talia pick for Major Booty in the support role.
Yes. Sorry, I was trying to figure out something else. I was just confused. Sorry. So, yeah, we do get Major Booty is a big Talia player, so I have to see if that one comes out.
The Zaya, Morgana, and Hecarim have been banned so far, as FBI will be making their second ban. Maybe that Talia will come through. Also, the ADC plays a little bit of Swain, however, that has not been targeted yet. And there could be a couple of flex picks coming from the Fat Booty Inspector.
Yeah, and TNP's AD carry does play both Kaisa and Zaya, and with a Zaya band away here, it could very well just be a first pick Kaisa coming out for TNP.
As Kennen will be the final ban most likely, as a Malphite did get banned as well. Um, and it also appears that FBI will be on the red side and TNP on the blue side. The Rek'Sai has been first picked,
Yep.
and that's not a strange pick and something we were kind of expecting, as 2Q is his main champion.
Yeah, I was about to say his main two are in jungle are Rek'Sai and Hecarim, so not surprised there to see with Hecarim banned that just to grab an early Rek'Sai, and FBI is going to answer looking here with the J4 pick probably.
Yeah, the J4
Oh.
sensible pickup to come through, but the Galio will come through first. Galio J4, a fairly standard duo to be seen coming through, the chicken coop
Mm-hmm.
with the kamikaze chicken, as I like to call it myself.
It's going to also be interesting to see if that is a mid lane Galio or a support Galio, so we'll have to wait for a draft to see which lane he's going to go in.
Yeah, and if the Galio had been picked up by TNP, I would say, yeah, it's definitely a flex pick because Prince Pucci does play a lot of Galio. However, for FBI, I don't know. I do think it's more likely to be in that mid lane, as Vladimir and Caitlyn do get locked in.
Oh.
The Thresh is still open, and well, the Morgana has been banned, so that can't come through. But Prince Pucci does like to play a little bit of a Blitz and Nautilus.
Yeah, and then we see that J4 ban finally coming through. I was about to be surprised if they locked in Udyr in a competitive game. Flashes back to old Unicorn to love there, but now they're gonna lock in that J4 and a pretty solid comp they got going here. Probably looking to 4-1 or even 1-3-1 depending on if they pick another mid laner besides Galio. But with the great team fighting with J4 and Galio and then their bot lane, and then you got Lau, who's going to be a menace in that top lane splitting.
Yeah, and yeah, as we mentioned, we could be seeing that Blitzcrank on Nautilus, the Kai'Sa and Malzahar being banned away. So the two of the biggest ADCs are gone. You still have that third big ADC, which is the Ashe that is available. We'll have to see whether FBI want to be picking that one up. I guess we wouldn't be too surprised if this is an ADC ban and it is going to be the Sivir. I want to see the Talia coming through.
Yeah, I think at this point there's really only Ashe left. Oh, maybe a Jin pick. I was about to say Ashe is maybe like one of the only other really main meta ADCs left. But having this Jin pick, um, it's fine. I don't think there's immediate like dive threat on him between like Rek'Sai and Vladimir. It's gonna be kind of hard to get on the Jin, so I think it might be a pretty safe pick right
Yeah, and the Nautilus will be getting picked up for
here.
TNP. However, FBI, is the Galio in the mid lane or is it in the support role? We kind of thought that a Nautilus would come through. Prince Pucci, 75% win rate on the champion in solo queue. And this is definitely a comfort bot lane for the side of Team Name Pending.
Yeah, and a pretty strong early game too. With Nautilus can hit his hook, and then his passive lead right into a trap into Piltover Peacemaker from Caitlyn. It's a lot of damage and a lot of hard CC. And we're seeing that Lysandra pick coming through too, so it's a top lane Vladimir as well.
Yeah, and there's a decent amount of pick here from Team Name Pending, but also they can have a good team fight, of course, with
Yeah.
that Glacial Tomb and the Vladimir just getting into the backline and finding those picks.
hmm And like if J4 locks a couple people up in his
Oh,
ultimate, you can get a easy Lysandra ult in there as well to do damage back to them. So and to dodge the knockup from Galio. So it's interesting. It's gonna be really interesting and fun to see how these team fights play out.
the Soraka did get hovered, and it is Major Booty's second most played champion. And I was hoping that we wouldn't see a
Mhm.
Soraka locked against the Nautilus. It will be the Leona, and Leona does get somewhat countered by Nautilus, but
Oh, I think it's
it
the other way
should.
around. I think
Is it the other way
it's
around?
traditionally a Nautilus
Fair,
counter. Yeah.
fair enough. Okay, so
'Cause
I guess I need to start picking Leona then instead of getting scared off the Leona whenever the Nautilus gets.
Yeah, because what you do is you wait for the Nautilus to engage on you, and then you just queue Nautilus, and then just walk away. So um, it's a pretty good counter into him. Also, you can just engage on him as well, and then he's slowed and hard to get away. So between Leona's CC and then Jin's W, um, even with how tanky Nautilus is, if he isn't allowed to proc his aftershock, he can be pretty squishy. Um, and could be a good target to jump on that bot line since Caitlyn's gonna be really far back.
Yeah, and of course, though, with this Leona getting locked in, it does mean that the Galio will be in the mid lane.
hmm
That is, of course, on Canada. So we've got the Jarvan Galio combo. Let's talk about the overall 5v5s because we've talked about TNP's lineup a little bit here, talking about how they've got a pick on, but they can still have a decent team fight. What about FBI?
FBI, I think they're looking here as a solid 1-4 comp. So you're gonna want Alawi to be splitting the top lane, and they have a strong enough core four that they might be able to just steamroll over a fight or hold their own in a fight. You also have Vladimir from TNP, who's going to be kind of doing the same thing, kind of either matching the Alawi or in the opposite lane as her to also be splitting and then coming on the flank. So I think it's really going to be between like the 4v4, excluding our top laners here. So and looking at that early game, I would favor TNP's comp with the power of the Rek'Sai in early game. Caitlyn as well as like a level 6 power spike coming from Lysandra. It's a little stronger than FBI's, but I think as the game goes on, the scaling I think it's just going to be a lot better for FBI. Minus that Vladimir pick.
Yeah, and one thing that I do really like from FBI, see, a lot of people disagree with me on this, and I think they're right to disagree with me on it because I think I'm wrong. Which sounds weird. Okay, right, sounds weird. So hear me out on this. I think Jin is a good late game ADC.
hmm I would agree with that.
Okay, because everyone seems to say, nah, Jin's terrible late game, he's good mid game, but I just always find that when you get that damage coming through, it's just absolutely ridiculous.
I just think when compared to other like traditional ADCs that would get to like 100% crit and a lot of attack speed, Jin doesn't put out as much DPS, but he's much more bursty in the late game. Like if like a
Mm.
looking at most of TNP's comp, besides like the Nautilus, they're all pretty squishy. If someone gets caught out from a Leo ultimate and then just gets hit by like two autos and a Q from Jin, they're just going to be dead. Especially if it is like a Dark Harvest Jin or maybe an Electrocute Jin. I don't know what we're gonna see. Probably Fleet Footwear coming out, but it could be a Dark Harvest Jin. And if we see the traditional like two or three IEs coming out after one IE and a rapid fire cannon, um, Jin just gets a lot of damage, and it's like I said, it's more burst oriented and not the sustained like really high DPS you're seeing from like Kaisa and Zaya.
I'm
But yeah,
very I'm very excited to see the Jin because he is my favorite ADC and he is my
he's one of my
go-to.
favorites too. Yeah.
Yeah. So I really liked that point in time where we were seeing Jins going 5 IEs. I thought that was
hmm
absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it was a fun time.
Um, I don't see many people going for it now, but it is somewhat viable, although not amazing.
Yeah, I haven't seen like hardly any gens in solo queue, so I actually don't know what everyone's been building. So yeah, I don't know if they're going the more traditional like rapid fire cannon or IE into rapid fire cannon into second zeal item and then into like bloodthirster or something. I don't know gen builds. But yeah, so it's gonna be also interesting to see like what build path we see coming out of the gen. if we're gonna see the multiple IEs, or we're just gonna see more
However, again
basic
though,
build.
with I'm gonna look towards actually both TNP and the Fat Booty Inspectors, because I think
Mm.
Rek'Sai J4, both of them have a lot of early game potential,
Yeah.
and I want to see how much presence they can have, and also looking towards the Galio and Lissandra for the roams to join with the junglers, regardless of where they're going. But I would assume more towards this bot side of the map.
Yeah, especially pre-6, or before, like, so Lissandra to actually start having priority in a lane needs to be like level 9 with a fully ranked Q to really start pushing lane, because it doesn't do that much damage, and it's on a really long cooldown early on. And so Galio early is going to be able to, with his passive and with his Q, is going to be able to push Lissandra in. So if there is an early fight around Scuttle between J4 and Rek'Sai, Galio is going to be there to respond a lot sooner than Lissandra. So that's something we have to be able to look at here, especially also in the top lane. That Alawi's going to have the push probably on Vladimir early on. So yeah, I expect J4 to play more, probably top side or maybe bot side this game. Kind of like he's going to have two prio lanes in his top and mid, and so he might look maybe for some blue side invades,
Okay.
possibly.
So we're having a couple of delays here. So we're going to head on over to a break, but we should be back after just a slightly longer break than usual with the first game of the day between the Fat Booty Inspectors and Team Name Pending. See you in just a short bit. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Risen Esports Rampage Open as Fat Booty Inspectors take on Team Name Pending to take the top seed heading into playoffs. Both the teams went 6-0 in the regular season during group stage, and well, Matt, we've seen the draft and it's
Mhm.
looking pretty even so far.
Yeah, we were talking about this over the break. So like, which comp I think we're like, who are we favoring towards to win this match? And we were talking about like how the early game is going to be pretty strong for TNP, but I think the one big weakness to their comp is their mid game's definitely not as good as FBI's. So between like that 10 and 25-minute mark, FBI should have the better comp. Like their champions are better on 1 to 2 items. They're gonna be hitting their key ultimates, and with that's going to be Caitlyn's weak part of the game, and also Vladimir is going to be scaling as well. So this Rek'Sai and Lissandra need to be proactive in the early game to try and get either the Vladimir or the Caitlyn ahead to try and bridge the gap to get them closer to their late game, like 3 or 4 item power spikes. If that doesn't happen, I just think FBI will run over this mid game.
Yeah, I'm also just taking a look at our rooms to see if there is anything weird. Everything seems fairly standard, but Feathers and Fur on the Alawi has gone for that Kleptomancy.
Yeah, I was seeing that too. Going Klepto into a range matchup can be really greedy. You might not just have the chance to proc Klepto. Maybe Conquer would have been a better pick.
Oh,
Early
Dredgeline
fight.
finding his mark, but Rapid turning up to the fight. Flag and Drag will come through, flash away from Prince of Poochie.
Yeah, yeah, we were saying how like TNP needed to be proactive in the early game here, but you're seeing that J4 the early level 2 gang from blue to bot lane, not really a typical route. It kind of caught TNP off guard there, had to blow their flash, and not having a Nautilus flash like where this TNP bot lane is really strong early game. Not having that Nautilus flash is gonna be pretty bad for them.
Oh, Major Booty lands the Zenith Blade. Out comes the dancing grenades. Ignite will come through. The heal is reduced as the Piltover Peacemaker will come through and get murked. Takes a lot of damage in that trade, but both bot lanes are very low.
Yeah, and I think this is basically FBI's like win condition. Like they are geared. Their bot lane is one of the best in Rampage, if not the best, from what I've seen. And they're just gonna pick fights with you and just like kind of like flex on you. So you have to be definitely prepared going in. And I think that TNP drafted a good bot lane early game that could like go toe to toe. But that early J4 gank led into an early level 2 coming out for FBI, and they're able to get a lot of damage down early and blow some summoners there while TNP was still level 1.
As the Justice Punch will come through, the taunt will follow. Noble taking a lot of damage with that level 3 combo.
Yep, and if you're Galio, you just keep doing that over and over again. Like that, you do your full combo, you're gonna be doing half their health, like you said, even at level 3. Um, and it doesn't cost too much mana for you, and it's just gonna cost Lissandra her entire health bar. So, just anytime she comes up to CS and if she outpositions herself, then you just hopefully hit her. If not, just hit her with a taunt and then auto Q, and there goes half her health.
And also, we were talking about that Kleptomancy for Feathers. It's working out really well for him so far. Double the CS of Polar Bear at the moment. Also, speaking of CS, 2Q is doing well after Rap went down to the bot lane level 2. Just allowed the Rek'Sai to get a bit of a jungle lead.
I'm curious to see.
Oh, the taunt did land in the Winds of War.
Did not need a
Noble.
flash there.
Yeah, probably didn't need to, but the flash is gone.
Yeah, that's pretty bad there by Noble. You got to know that Galio doesn't have Ignite, so he doesn't really have kill pressure, especially on your turret, and he's used his full combo, and you're still at like 20% health. No need to flash there at all. Rek'Sai's got a nice positioning here on Alawi. Alawi's really pushed up, and if I'm Rek'Sai, I'm definitely going to hit this top lane after finishing off this Krugs.
Right, and we'll have to, yeah, as you mentioned, 2Q just with the invade, taking even more CS away from Rap. He's going to make his way down to the mid lane, but Noble has plenty of ways of escaping with that Glacier Path, although very low on mana at the minute.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh, that is sad.
That's really sad. He had to sit for this wave, but luckily he's got TP, so you just farm this wave and then back. Um, yeah, despite the CS lead though, it's not a huge gold lead in the top lane. I was curious for a second because it was like at one point like 20 CS lead, and it was only like a 200 gold lead, and I was confused. Um, but it's 300 gold lead in top lane already. So yeah, Lowy doing work there. It's a rough lane for Vladimir.
And as we approach the 6-minute mark of the game, the first Drake of the game has spawned, and it is an Infernal, so expect to see both junglers starting to make their way down for this.
And we were talking about like TNP needed to bridge the gap for their late game carries. Getting an Inferno Drake would definitely start doing that. And they are strong. Their bot lane, I think, is stronger at this point in the game. Your jungler is also stronger at this point in the game. I would be hard pushing this lane and then calling bottom and Lissandra. Like Galio's not there either. Like if I'm TNP, I'd do this dragon right now.
They probably should. Maybe when they spot Rap on the top side of the map, they will pull the trigger at the moment. Too cute on his Raptors, and Noble has made his way to the Drake, but unable to do anything except for just check that it's still there.
Yeah, I think it is a little bit of a misplay there. You kind of Galio was not there. Lissandra had the push and was just back, so she had full health and had her item.
Yeah.
You had they didn't know this, but J4 was topside. But at least they knew they had the push in the bot lane here, and Rek'Sai can easily do Dragon right now. Especially if Caitlyn and Nautilus just walk over and provide some help. Yeah, I think bot lane could have just shoved it in faster, and then
instead of a drag, he's gonna go for the bird. He cancels the Justice Punch away, but he takes so much damage. First blood going over to Canada. Noble hitting 6 way too late for that trade, and bit of a miscommunication issue between a jungler and mid laner. Now Canada potentially looking to turn it back around, but it is going to be FBI making their way over to the Drake, and with the 2Q only just respawning now. Oh, Canada almost finds a Taunt, and Glacial path in from Noble, but Canada's just happy to keep on trading. He does have the red buff as the Drake is secured by Captain Booty, as the Deadly Flush will find Noble, but won't be able to find any CC.
Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate now, especially considering you, like you said, you were the stronger early game team. And now you lose that Infernal, you lose that Prio. Yeah, it's gotta feel bad. What really you want there, since nothing's happening here. Since Rek'Sai was level 5, you want Lissandra to lead there and to start that engage. You don't want Rek'Sai to get caught out, because with Galio's really high base like stats and his damage there early on, like, and Rek'Sai not being level 6 to get her ultimate off. Yeah, she just got completely destroyed, and Lissandra didn't really do anything there. So yeah, Noble's got to be able to like start that fight, and then Rek'Sai can follow up with a knockup after the Lissandra ult times out.
Yeah, 1 kill over to FBI at the minute. They have this Infernal Drake, and we talked about, you know, how much better FBI's mid game is, and we're kind of expecting them to pull out a bigger lead in that phase, and that Infernal really going to help them as Demolish procs come through. Pucci Dredge lines out, but the Zenith Spray coming in. FBI looking aggressive. Solar Flare will come in, and here is the TP. Deadly Flourish finds its mark, and Canada will pick up the kill. Now, the Curtain Call coming through. 3 will land, and a 4th will come through, but it's just not quite enough damage just yet. Meanwhile, in the top lane, TNP looking for a pick themselves as... Oh, so much damage. The Leap of Faith.
She is
Feathers in Fur. She's very low on mana, but oh, so much! And Feathers finds the pick, flashes out, and 2Q can do nothing but watch in dismay. And now Rap is here as well. Flag and Drag coming in. Cataclysm will land. 2Q cannot get out of this one. He almost finds a kill onto Rap, but Feathers. Okay.
Well, Rap nearly wanted just to kill himself there because he walked back into the Rek'Sai.
Sorry, no. He flashed back into the Rek'Sai.
Yeah, that was interesting. And but he's lucky that Rek'Sai decided to burrow, because I guess Rek'Sai wasn't expecting J4 to walk back in. But yeah, we were saying like how TNP kind of had to do things pre 10 minutes. Well, they're down 3K before 10 minutes into the better mid game team. It's not looking good.
It is most certainly not looking good. 2.5k goal leader to FBI at the minute, 4 kills to 0. Even when they thought they had that gank off, somehow Feathers and Fur turned that around with hardly any mana as well, may I add.
Yeah, it was a bit unfortunate there too, because looked like Vladimir is gonna have his empowered Q up in like half a second, and then I think if he gets that off, he
Oh no.
survives. Oh, it's
Death
another.
Charge will come through. Shield of Daybreak lands, and the Zenith Blade comes in. A goodbye, Prince Poochie.
Yeah, that's too much CC. Yeah, and then you got these giant item breakpoints coming through for FBI as well. You got the Cleaver on Alawi. You got the Warrior enchantment coming out instead of the Cinderhulk J4. So we're gonna have this a Warrior J4 coming out, and then you also have a Proto Belt on Galio.
Justice Punch, QQ gonna get caught out. He gets hit by the Torn Flag and Dragon. Canada gets his 4th kill off the game, and Noble, I think Major Booty might have been tempted to go for the turret buy, but he thinks better of it, and well, this bot side jungle belongs to FBI right now.
Yeah, and it just keeps going bad to worse for TNT here.
Solar Flare to start things off. Zenith Blade, Deadly Flourish. The chain CZ comes through. Captain Booty flashes, but he doesn't find the auto. And another turret shot will come in. Get Merc picks up the kill after, well, Captain Booty cannot get the Triumph Prop to come through.
FBI getting a little overzealous there. Yeah, I think Jin's got a flash earlier there to get this damage off, but well played there by Gitmer to just, outplay there. Just avoided that tower dive as much as possible.
Also, there's a bit of false information coming through from the side of FBI. They're pinging Get Merc's ult, but the ace in the hole never left the gun, so it is still available. And Justice Punch coming through, but there comes the Dredgeline. Noble, he is here, but he's coming in just way too late. He'll be able to cancel the hero's entrance, and it's just another 2 kills going over to FBI, who have been dominant this game.
And right before a dragon's up, so that's going to be a second Infernal going to FBI. Wow. Yeah, I guess they knew they had the numbers advantage, but they didn't account for Lissandra had no mana, so she couldn't get into ultimate or do anything. And this is, those nerfs we saw a long time ago when, Lissandra was like meta is getting picked in every game. They really nerfed her cooldowns and her mana early, and we've seen that this game where she's consistently having to spam abilities to farm because Galio's always pushing into her. So when these fights break out, she doesn't have the mana to do anything in the fights, so she's basically been useless. And we're seeing a Proto Belt rush out of her instead of a Ludens, so she's going to continually not have that much mana. I know Proto Belt does give some mana, but it's not as prevalent as Ludens, I believe. I could be wrong on that, though.
I believe he gives you some, but not the most. Yeah. Noble is the only, actually no, one of the 2 members yet to die. Get murked. Has not died just yet, but I'm sure Major and Captain Booty will be looking to change that very soon. However, here comes 2Q. Dredgeline won't be able to find his mark, and 2Q will be left very sad as he leaves the bot lane.
Yeah, it's not looking too great. Like, Vladimir is down a lot of CS, a lot of gold. He's down 2.5k gold. Oh, no, 2.5k to Alawi. Noble's down 1.5k. Like, it's gonna be rough. They're gonna need maybe some throws coming out here.
Yeah, and we talked about how the mid game of FBI is so much superior to TNP, and they've won the early game hands down. Yeah, actually, I'll hold that thought because Justice Punch is a good pool of blood, but the flash away, and now 2Q looking to go in. The Dredgeline will land this time. Shield of Daybreak as a flash comes in to find this knock up onto Booty Hole. Here comes the Void Rush. Ace in the hole gets tagged, and Booty Hole picks up the kill. Out comes the Deadly Flourish, but that's a good Dredgeline, and Booty Hole just getting way too aggressive. Zenith Blade under turret. That is a fantastic stopwatch from Get Merc.
Unless he dies.
That is sad, and the turret aggro did not reset its damage, so the damage was still sacking.
Yep, he needed to wait just about like 3 more seconds for that wave to get pushed in, and then he just walked out, but instead he tried to walk to the bush and actually walked back into turret range. So it was a clean play until that happened. And I was about to say before they got both of those kills, it was a little bit of greed by TNP to try and get both the kills instead of just trying to focus on the Leona,
Yeah.
who was dead to rights from the beginning. But because Rek'Sai was focused on killing the Jhin, they had split damage. They almost both got out of there. Um,
Yeah. And I'm just going to point this out. Prince Poochie does have his Ignite up, so I'm not sure if he had that up going into the fight, because that would have changed things
Oh.
drastically, as Dredge's like, oh wow, doesn't even need a Feathers and Fur for that one. Speaking of Feathers and Fur, he's picked up a Guardian's Angel. There's a Rift Herald charging down mid. This is not looking good for TNP right now.
Yeah, and this is why I don't like particularly like seeing a Vladimir in leagues, just because really the games are decided really early in Rampage.
Yeah.
So you kind of want to have like this good early game, and Vladimir just gives you no agency before like 25, 30 minutes when he's like good. And so yeah, into a really like they did they pick the Vladimir into
the collapse coming in onto Jhin, but nothing's landing. Deadly Flourish will find the CC. Fourth shot picks up the kill. Meanwhile, in the mid lane,
That's
the
good.
depth charge finds a knock up onto 2. Ace in the hole coming in. Flag and drag to safety.
Oh.
The Ignite not quite enough, but the Dredge line will be able to find the chicken. Canada will get taken down. However, the shutdown goes over to Prince Poochie as in the top lane, Feathers and Fur. So much damage onto Polar Bear minion.
On the bright side, Caitlyn's doing a lot of damage right now. So they got that going for them.
But this is what we talked about. You know, the Caitlyn would be strong in the early phase of the game, but this is now where we expect to see the Caitlyn start to fall off. As Feathers and Fur, the chain CC coming through, almost finds a kill onto Q2Q. The GA though has been dropped onto the trap, and the kill will be going over to Get Muck. Back to what I was saying, though, Matt, you know, Get Muck is the only member who has just hit a strong point with that Infinity Edge. From now, though, this Captain Booty is going to outscale us. As you mentioned in the drafting phase, Get Muck's hitting this trough in power.
Yeah, so Caitlyn's really strong on one item, and then really not until like her 4th item. Usually, it depends on how fed she gets. You can hit her spike sooner. But yeah, but this is a super squishy Rek'Sai that is really getting nothing done. Vladimir is
Major Booty will
almost
have
getting
to flash over the wall.
Yeah, Vladimir is almost getting Event Horizon there for a little bit. Because he but yeah,
He's not had a fun time in the top lane.
No, Alawi's been free farming. You can't fight over this Drake. If you lose this Drake fight, it's gonna turn into a oh no. Baron's not up, never mind. Still.
Here we go though. That is going to be the curtain call coming out, and then Lissandra takes so much damage. The fight has truly begun. Solar Flare coming in, Cataclysm, as it is 4 kills. Make that 5. It's an ace for nothing. They pick up the Cloud Drake as well. You were saying that it might be Baron. Baron's not up yet, but the base is up, but it might not be up for much longer.
Yeah, so that's the better mid-game team with a 7k gold. And you want to fight in an enclosed space where Alawi can get off a perfect ultimate. It's pretty questionable decision making at best. I know you're trying to like never want to give up objectives, but you gotta know when you can contest, when you can't.
Yeah. The Cloud Drake is not the objective you want to contest.
Yeah, if it was 3rd Infernal, I get the sentiment like you kind of need to contest 3rd Infernal. But a Cloud Drake, yeah, let that go.
But the thing is, even if it is a 3rd Infernal, when you contest it, you don't 5v5 team fight. You send someone in to sacrifice themselves.
Yeah. You kind of just send Rek'Sai over and then shoot like a Caitlyn Q over and hope for the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't commit, like, Rek'Sai goes in, gets immediately destroyed, and then like, oh, I guess we decide to fight now. Vlad got like a great ulti and like AoE damage off, except he's only 1 item Vlad and doesn't do anything. If that fight happened at 35 minutes instead of 20 minutes, Vladimir might be able just to one-shot everyone. But it's not the world we live in.
Yeah. And when we're talking about these fights, as you mentioned, it's in this tight enclosed space of the Dragon Pit. Everyone is clumped up. This is massive for the hero's entrance. The Ilawi ultimate with that leap of faith, and the dancing grenades just hits everyone.
Yeah, I mean, Galio, like, the team was dead before Galio even landed from to me. Like, that was all Alawi damage and Cataclysm and Jhin. Like, it's just tons of AoE coming out. Galio did a lot of AoE damage before, just kind of. But yeah, it's not playing to your team's strengths. You know, you want to try and find picks here. You don't want to really ever full 5v5 against FBI, even if you were like super skilled into the late game. I still wouldn't advise this because of all their impact ultimates. It's gonna always be hard to beat them in a fight.
Baron is now up as we approach the 21-minute mark in the game. Feathers and Fur is pushing in the top side. I would like to see a member, though, of FBI split pushing in the bottom lane because Canada does have his TP up, although Feathers and Fur's TP won't be up for another couple of minutes.
Yeah, I mean, also at this point, if I'm FBI, I just force it. Like, J4 is backing now, but after he gets back, just force it. You're up 10k. If they come to you, you just turn and destroy them, and then you get Baron, and then, like, if they don't contest you, you just get Baron to end the game that way.
Well, here might be the force quite far away from the Baron. Well, the pick against the pick comp, Prince Poochie will dredge line away to safety. He's going to get hit by the aftermath of the Alawi damage as Noble, looking very aggressive, might realize that is a bad decision. Zenith Blade going in as the route onto Canada. Solar Flare finds his mark. Justice Punch on Canada finds a kill. Captain Booty, though, has a fallen as Polar Bear looking to dish out those autos, but Rap turns up, will be able to find the kill. 4 kills for 3. And I guess that just comes down to Fat Booty Inspections fighting on 2 different fronts at the same time and not enough peel for Captain Booty.
Yeah, that fight started off actually pretty good there for TNP because Alawi was in the top lane and J4 was still walking back to base. So it was like a 3v5 for a little bit. So it was a good fight.
TP in from Noble, though. Can he find the pick onto Rap? He'll come in, misses the Ice Shard. Feathers and Fur will not miss the test of will.
That's ridiculous. Oh, wow.
Oh, what? That is sad.
Well, it stopped Baron.
It did stop Baron. I guess a worthy sacrifice.
Now I think they can just do it because now it's a 5v4. Oh, Nautilus, what are you doing?
Oh no. Goodbye, Nautilus. And maybe goodbye, Baron, as well. We said 5v4. It's now a 5v3.
They don't take Baron well at all without Alawi or J4 there. Jin is not known for his Baron potential.
I mean, Jin's well known for destroying control wards.
Oh yeah.
He's not. I am subscribed to the Jin subreddit, and the memes are always about control wards. Says, oh wow.
God.
To quote a certain medic, this isn't even fun to cast.
Yeah, it's just a lot of gasps as we're just seeing these blue side members just get destroyed. It gets painful to watch. You definitely when that early game happened, you're like, oh, this is gonna be a pretty rough mid game, and it turned to definitely to be true. In that respect.
I've got a question for you, Matt. What is the largest goal lead that you've ever casted on?
For some reason, I'm always casting Stomps. So like last week, there was like a 15k goal at 20 minutes. Which is
We're
actually...
gonna beat that.
No, a 15k at 20. It was.
Okay.
It's only 13 at 24. Like there was it was like 20 to 2 last week. It was disgustingly bad. I have yet to cast a series that went to full 3 games. So I just keep getting these just great games. But FBI, I've seen FBI a couple times. And they're the real deal. I would definitely say they're the best team in Rampage, and definitely they're proving that again in this game.
Also good to see that Captain Booty picking up that Executioner's calling. Not going to give Polar Bear Minion a chance to get that healing off.
Yeah. Yeah, also Alawi's also picked up the Executioners as well. So Vladimir just gonna have a bad time because Vladimir and Kate are trying their best to win this trying to stay in this game. Trying to carry the dead body that is Rek'Sai across the finish line, but it's gonna be rough.
Oh, the engage coming through onto Feathers and Fur, but Feathers and Fur will just walk out. Meanwhile, Baron and Powered kind of minion just shooting down the inhibitor turret in the mid lane. Oh my god, the damage coming in as Booty Hole steps onto a trap. Will take a fair bit of damage as the depth charge comes in, flash away from the Leona. The inhibitor turret does fall, but FBI just keep on pushing. They're not looking for a fight just yet. And the first inhibitor of the game will fall at the 25-minute mark.
Yeah, you can just see the like dichotomy. Like Caitlyn's hit her auto attack's doing nothing, and then Jin basically chunks Caitlyn out with one auto and a Q. So yeah, it's rough because FBI doesn't really have not FBI.
I don't know if I've got good news or bad news for you here, Matt, because you mentioned before, I was actually, I'll hold that thought, 2Q finds a knockup flag and drag to safety as that's going to be the Void Rush. The Void Rush of a Doom, as here comes the hero's entrance, maybe a bit late as Bootyhole gets taken down very low, will fall as, well, the Vladimir tried to do something and curtain call. It's gonna be the ace coming through from FBI, and what I wanted to mention, Feathers and Fur, he is a 3 CS away, as I don't know what Kill Cannon does there, but Feathers and Fur has now hit the Flame Horizon. He has done it.
Yeah, that's what happens when you pick Alawi, who's traditionally a lane bully, into a champion that cannot lane at all in Vladimir. So, yeah, a little bit of a miscued draft there coming out of TMP side. The Rek'Sai not a pretty scoreline.
It's always pretty hard though, isn't it, when you combine the top and jungle gold advantage, it comes up to 9k.
Yeah, and that was only like half their gold lead. It ended on a 14k gold lead, so you had 5k on the rest of the map. So it's not like they were super behind either. Just overall, I think everyone performed really well for FBI. The bot lane went kind of even early, which kind of to be expected, if not entirely favored to TNP. But that top side just blew wide open that early game, really when it shouldn't have. Too cute, it's a rough game. You know, you kind of just want to put it behind you, though. You know, he plays a lot of Rek'Sai, so maybe it's a bad game there. I think maybe a Kaisa pick would have been a better first pick than Rek'Sai, but I don't know how limited his champion pool is outside of his Rek'Sai and Hecarim. So he might have been forced onto those picks from drafts. But yeah, if I'm TNP, I want to pick a little bit more early game champions, and I don't like with Lissandra and Vladimir. You're not really able to lane at all, and just so Alawi was just able to abuse Vladimir and get an early turret, and then Galio was always able to push Lissandra in and then fight like Roman fight, and that led to several dragons and then just a snowballing of this game.
Right, we will be heading into a short break, but we'll be right back for game 2 and maybe a bit of a pre-game discussion on what we want to see both these two differently. Catch us in just a short bit. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Risen Esports Rampage Open. The teams have been very kind and have already got into picks and bans. And, well, I think TNP might have a bit a case of PTSD because that Ilawi and Galio are the first bans to come through.
Yeah, the classic. We got crushed by this, and we don't want to play it against it ever again. And FBI doing,
Oh,
kind of the classic, like, oh, it worked the first game, so just run the same bands back.
yeah.
Uh,
And I'm trying to remember what were the other bans that TNP did in game one.
they
I
banned
think
Zaya, Morgana, Malphite.
um, I think we might get the Morgana coming through.
I would rather ban the Zaya because I think it leaves Zaya picked, and Zaya right now is like hands down like the best AD carry. It could be
What
argued that
over Kaiser?
I personally think Zaya is a better AD carry over Kaisa.
Okay. Well, Desire is banned, and FBI will pick up the Morgana. They could take the Caitlyn for themselves as well, as that power lane is available. TNP, though, they could go for the Kaiser Nautilus themselves here.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, the Morgana pick kind of shows that you might get either like probably a Caitlyn pick or possibly a Jin pick again. But yeah, you can run it back here with a Kaisa Nautilus lane.
Yeah, apparently Jin does synergize very well with Morgana because you
Hmm.
can proc the passive to get the stun up
Yep.
from your deadly flourish. The Ari though are locked in for TNP. It is Noble's most played mid laner and shifting over from the defensive Lissandra. Hopefully a bit more aggression here for TNP as a Caitlyn will also get picked up.
Yeah, the Caitlyn was doing good for them early on. So perfectly fine with running it back. With the Galio ban though, it's going to be an Akali there possibly.
Could be getting flexed to the top lane, and I wouldn't mind seeing FBI pulling out the Jin once again.
Hmm.
Captain Booty did all right with it, although a couple of questionable moments, most specifically the
Oh,
curtain call as the
uh,
Swain.
it might be an I don't know. Is it going to be a Swain?
Swain bot. Swain bot.
It could
Swain
be.
bot.
Swain Morgana is really disgusting because the Q being land from Morgana guarantees the E being hit by Swain as well as the pull from his passive. So it's just a lot of CC coming out. Um, if I'm TNP here, I maybe pick like maybe like a Nami or like some champion that could or Lux here, a champion that could stay back. If you're picking a melee champion into Morgana Swain, you're just gonna get super abused. Oh, please don't pick Vladimir again. Oh no.
Well, TMP seemed to think that the Vladimir was okay, and they will take it for game two. And TMP do not believe that it's a Swain
It could be Swain. It
ADC.
could be Swain mid or top.
I think it's a Swain bot lane.
I think so too.
I think the Kaiser's a wasted ban, and they probably should have looked towards the jungle as the Carthus ban against TNP coming in.
Interesting. I don't think they were. There's a threat of a coming out, especially with they already having an RA and Vlad on their team. Um, yeah, I think Nautilus is a good ban there. I think that's probably what TNP would default back to. I would like to see a ranged support here, like a Nami or a Lux. Just because you don't want to be in range of that Morgana Swain duo. Even if it isn't Swain, you kind of want a champion that's not gonna get abused by Karma. I
Yeah,
like the I like the Karma effect. That's one of those range
um,
champions that can just poke them out.
and I feel like the Karma just mainly focusing at the Morgana just to
Yeah.
get that counter pick to come in. Of course, though, the Morgana could be getting flexed as well as the Swain, and it could
Yeah,
be a Morgana mid.
it could very well be a Swain support, which is actually his highest win rate role right now, and it could be a Morgana mid. So that silver pick tells us nothing.
Yeah.
um, yeah, now you got
So
the super safe lane.
I guess it was never meant to be a Swain ADC. It could be a Swain support and a Morgana mid. The
Yeah,
Amumu will get locked in. So is it Swain or Morgana support? Is the question. Did
Morgana
I say
match.
Amumu mid? Amumu
No,
jungle.
it's a mid with jungle for sure.
Okay.
I've played as Ari. I've played against a Morgana and a Swain before. Morgana's definitely the harder lane because she can kind of lock you down. Whereas it's as Ari, it's really easy to dodge Swain's E, and then you can just dash out of his ultimate. So it's really easy to dodge the Swain damage as Ari. And since Swain's a little bit lower range, you can abuse him with Q.
Yeah.
That's a lot of AP coming out of TNP.
Yeah, and the Zach, the final lock in. I've been speaking to a lot of casters about the new old Zach ult. Which
Mhm.
one do you prefer?
Oh, I like the old, like the one it is
Okay,
now. Like I think
okay.
it's just it's more iconic and I think it's better. His last one, it could be good, but also I've seen where Zacks were kind of trolling, or it'd be pretty troll if you grabbed like a real Fed member and that Fed member you just brought them to your team for them to destroy you. I just think the Let's Bounce, getting a bunch
Darius.
of bounces. Yeah, yeah. Let's pull the Darius into our team, or I've seen it where they brought the like APM Mumu next to the AD carry, and then he just one shot everything. So I definitely like the this iteration of Zach. I think his base stat, like his base abilities, like his QW, are a lot more fun um from the rework they did. But I liked his ultimate, like Let's Bounce, a lot. So I think this is the perfect iteration of Zach. Iteration of Zach.
Iteration, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
iteration's not a word. It's been a long day, everybody.
I mean, to be honest, this is what casting's all about. It's not about high quality game analysis. It's about making cool new words that sound
Uh-huh.
awesome.
Yeah, like I just combined itemization and iteration. So
Iteration, yeah.
iteration. Yeah,
Iteration, right. Sorry, I
my
make lots
bad.
of lots of weird words. I say funny, they're not funny. I like to think that they are, just to
Yeah.
give me some, hope. But let's take a look at the comps. Again, I'm kind of hoping that it's a Morgana mid and a Swain support just
Oh, I'm
because,
hoping to.
yeah, we'll see because we are in the client picks and bans. But let's take a general look at both team comps here.
Yeah, so I think again this Vladimir is going to get kind of abused by Urgot, not as badly as Alawi probably, but it's still going to be a rough matchup for him. So you're still going to pick that want to scale. I think the difference with this draft for TNP is they didn't pick two losing lanes like with the Lissandra and Vladimir, so they didn't have any
Oh,
agency in those lanes early on. They could still swap. Have faith.
they could, but
They could
are
swap.
you allowed to swap
Yeah, you
when
can
you do
swap
it?
before 20 seconds. Yeah, you can swap before
Okay,
20
okay.
seconds. Um,
My
I
fingers are firmly
yeah,
crossed right now.
yeah. Well, we'll just leave it at Swain and Ari just for the sake
Yeah.
of talking about it.
Mm,
Ari is I think pretty heavily not heavily favored in that lane because I don't think there's going to be a lot of kill pressure because Swain is he's got a lot of health. And with his ultimate, he's going to get a lot of healing like that. But Ari's going to be able to push him in early, and instead of Noble being under his turret all this game, he's not going to be the one with the prio. He's going to be the one to able to react to the map and be able to roam down bot lane or top lane and try and get his team going. Ari is really strong at doing that. As soon as he hits six, you just want to shove in that wave, and then you want to walk bot lane and try and dive with your charm and ultimate. Um, that's what I think the play is here. You have a Caitlyn Karma lane that's going to be pushing probably the Morgana and Sivir under turret, and that could be easy dives with the Zakanari coming down. So that's my game plan if I'm TNP. I shove bot, and then once Ari hits six, I just camp crap out of the bot lane and just dive repeatedly. Keep that Sivir behind because Sivir is not going to be very useful until she hits three or four items. She's going to be the one wanting to scale now too, along with Caitlyn. Arguably, Sivir carries harder as late game Sivir over late game Caitlyn, just because ricochets can bounce and crit a lot. But
yeah.
the poke come out of this Caitlyn Karma lane is going to be pretty oppressive. It's not a fun lane to play into. And if you're not dodging a lot of it, it's going to be rough. And Karma with an empowered Q can break through Black Shield and to attach her root or the
Mm.
Caitlyn trap. So to also keep that in mind. Um, for really the rest of the game, if Black Shield's on somebody, it can get broken fairly easily, especially with all the AP
But
champions on the
then, of
side of
course,
TMP.
there is also the spell shield available for Captain Booty as well.
Yep.
Um, I do want to take a look at this jungle matchup though, because
Mm,
a Mumu Zac, two junglers that I feel that we don't see a lot of in current times,
yeah.
and to see them both against each other is even rarer.
Yeah, it's like throwing it back to like season four, where these two were like some of the best junglers in the game. Back when tank jungling was really big in season four and five. I think Zach is going to be favored a little bit earlier in this game just because he's got a lot of unique. You got to be more aware of where his jungle ganks are going to come from. They're going to come from weird angles that you're not used to. Like with a full ranked E, he can gank from Raptor camp and can jump into the middle of mid lane. So you have to be well aware that if you're a Swain, you have to be aware of as that can pretty much come out of nowhere really quickly. So if you get hit by a charm, it could just be followed up really easily by Zach. Amumu is really his ganks are a lot better, and his team fighting is a lot better when he's at 6. But pre-6 Amumu is not going to do too much. He can be effective. He's got with his Q, it could be enough CC to make something happen. But I think Zach is going to be a little bit more proactive. And I think Zach is he's going to be the better tank, but I think Amumu is going to have the better ultimate. But I think overall Zach is the better jungle in this moment, and it could be a full AP Amumu if he gets ahead. We saw Rap go the damage build of J4, so he could follow it up with an AP Amumu as well. So that's something to keep our eyes out on. Keep our eyes out for.
Yeah. And I like the change of pace from TNP in specific
Mm-hmm.
towards this mid lane. Noble no longer playing that Lissandra, that almost safe pick. I don't want to fight early on.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe this is what TNP need to change things around. Also, we have that Vladimir again. Do you think it's going to be different from last time? Feathers and Fur picked up a Flame Horizon over Polar Bear.
Yeah.
And, well, I'm sure he'll be confident.
I think it's gonna be better than an Alawi, who's probably like the most oppressive lane bully. But you still have to watch out for Urgot can abuse you and then kill you at level 6. So I think Vladimir is going to be behind, but maybe not like 20, 30 CS, like 10 minutes in again. I think he can keep it a little bit more manageable and keep it a little bit more safe against an Urgot. So I think it's a little bit better of a lane for Vladimir. I'm still not a huge fan of the Vladimir pick, but it does give them some nice late game insurance. We'll see.
Right, and on that note, we're going to be heading into a short break. Also, there's been a rather interesting video posted in our production Discord, so we want to take a little look at that. But we'll be seeing you in just a short bit for game 2 between Fat Booty Inspectors and Team Name Pending. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Risen Esports Rampage Open as FBI take on a TNP to decide who will be the top seed heading into playoffs. At the moment, FBI are looking poised to be picking up the 2-0 here, Matt, after a very confident victory in game one.
Yeah, it was I think someone classified it as a stomp. Not to be too toxic, but yeah, it's a pretty one-sided affair after a botched early game by TNP. I do like their draft in this game. It's a little bit cleaned up, a little bit more proactive in the early and mid game with the Ari pick, and she is running Glacial, so it's going to be more that team focus. Try and set up my rest of my team with the GLP and Twin Shadows rather than going the full like Stork Shoes, Oblivion Orb, Electrocute build. Nothing to mention too. I think Karma's also running Arcane Comet and not Aerie, so that's gonna be something to watch out for too.
Yeah, as a friend of mine likes to say, the insecure Ari build coming out.
It's definitely what I do because I'm like learning Aerie right now. I was transitioning to mid lane, and I definitely use Glacial as a crutch. It makes hitting charms a lot easier when you're starting out. It's not as much damage. It's gonna be, it's still gonna be good damage, but it's definitely more that you want to set up picks for the rest of your team. And hitting charm and just really hitting any skill shot is gonna be a lot easier when you hit that.
Never move does land on Chernobyl. I like to go electrocute, but not because I'm in. But that's okay. Hang on. Right. Allow me to rephrase. Yeah, it's very hard. English isn't my first language, people. So I don't go electrocute because I am insecure. I'm so insecure that I think if I go glacial, I'll still miss my charms, and then it'll look really bad.
Yeah, you'd hate to see that. I mean, I get hard flamed whenever I miss charms now. So yeah, it can definitely happen. I think either way you're gonna get flamed for missing charms, but Canada's not missing his skill shots at all. Ari does win this lane unless she's gonna consistently get grabbed. If that's the case, Swain's gonna win this lane, so you gotta be a little careful. A nice ward put on the red buff of Zax though, so they definitely TNP, not TVNP, FBI does see where the Zac is, and Swain's playing accordingly. Playing to that bot side is also pushing under tower, so not gonna be dope this early.
I also want to comment as well because Noble has gone for the Barret, which I think is a nice respect against Swain. But I would have preferred it if it was a cleanse for the Amumu CC and the Swain never move.
Oh, I was gonna say, I like to say Ignite. Like you don't have as much damage in E, so you hit him with the charm from the slows. Then you just hit him. Oh, that's probably a dead booty hole, major booty.
Elastic slingshot coming through the Ignite, and the stretching strike will pick up the kill as another never move lands, and the Vision of Empire.
Ari returning some damage there though.
Yeah, as you mentioned, the Orb of Deception will find its mark and comes out as a somewhat even trade, but Noble starting to run a little bit low on mana here.
Ari is very mana hungry early on. If you're spamming Qs and Ws trying to farm, it's going to be rough. Also, farming on her is pretty awkward early. You have to get like a couple AP items. I think it's like her finish Ludens and have like a full ranked Q to one-shot the caster wave. So before then, it's always like this awkward spot where you kind of have to like auto the backline first before using your Q to clear the wave. And Caitlyn is missing CS, is hurting me. Oh my god.
I mean, you mentioned that Gemberk is missing some CS, but
they're dying.
He has double the CS right now of Captain Booty, so
he could be up 20 though. Like I just watched him miss like 6 in a row. I know laning poke's important, but you also got to secure like the minions in there. Happens.
There you go.
Especially when you miss the first one, it starts getting your head a little bit, and you miss. And it's just like, oh man, I can't.
The worst one is when you know exactly what you have to do to CS under turret.
Oh my god.
But as I'd like to say, your support autos it at the wrong time, and then it throws off the entire wave.
Yeah.
And you just lose everything. It's just such a feels bad.
Yeah, that's why I like solo laning or jungling. Jungling is the best. It's like, oh man, no one's contesting me on my camps most of the time. I'm just don't have to push lane, don't have to worry about lane. It's just farming my camps. But
yeah, it does annoy me though, because then whenever I do end up going mid lane and a jungler comes to take the CS, he doesn't know how to CS and he misses half the CS, and I'm like, don't take my CS if you don't know how to CS.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I don't really care about CS if like I'm just trying to get it back and I just need the jungler to help push the lane in. At that point, I'm like, I don't care if you take it or if no one, hopefully somebody's getting it. But at that point, I'm like just wanting to push it under a tower so I can get a good back timing.
Oh, as a Dark Binding will land onto Prince
Ooh,
Poochie
Sex
and
hanging around. Oh, and Ari. Wow, this is. Oh man, the Fnatic Death Push coming out here.
yeah,
The problem is they're also pushing the wave into a turret, so there's no way that Sivir or Morgana are gonna push up. So they're wasting a lot of time here.
yeah,
I like
and
the idea.
oh, elastic slingshot forwards.
Push.
Okay, the Zag just wanted to show, look, I'm bot side. If you want to do anything top side rat, now is your time to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think they got lucky that Amumu was actually playing and couldn't really do anything. But yeah, as a jungler, you never really want to show yourself, like, and just kind of jumping in there for no good reason is giving information to the other team, and so now they're able to, you know, kind of react accordingly.
Oh, as another never mover will land
Oh,
as Vision of Empire actually buys a bit of time. The charm did find its mark, but no Spirit Rush available for Noble.
yeah, and you got that level 6 coming out Swain here. Like I said earlier, I think it's gonna be not a lot of kill pressure for Swain just because Ari can dash out of your ultimate and not get blown up, unless she gets hit by an E. But
Also, it's been a bit of a change of pace in the top lane as well. Polar Bear has the CS advantage over Feathers and Fur this time around, who hasn't been able to have as much of an impact on the Urgot as he did on that Illaoi.
well, I think the problem is that he's been out of mana for like the last 3 minutes, and so it's just been like he's been opted into just wanting to farm with the Vladimir, and I don't think that's what you want to be doing as Urgot. You want to back, you want to like he's been sitting on Phage for a while now. Like I would want you to like push this wave in back and then start abusing, because if you with a cleaver or like start getting Phage, you can start abusing this Vladimir, but with no mana and no levels, Vladimir is gonna happily trade and he's gonna happily just free farm. So I definitely want to, yeah, he's backing now, but I think he should have backed a couple like 2 minutes ago as soon as he hit like that Phage gold, and because then you can just really start abusing the Vladimir with that item.
Dark Binding finds mark. Let's see also whether Feathers wants to pick
Oh my
up
God.
that early execution of calling, because it might be a Phage and calling coming through, and well,
Yeah.
you can already see that transfusion coming in pretty big, and maybe even Merc Treads as well. A few item options for Feathers and Fur at this early stage of the game.
Yeah, I would expect probably. Oh, he's still not back. Oh my God, you have TP. Just back and TP, buddy. Oh, it's hard to watch. Yeah, I'm expecting with the 1800 gold, probably gonna back with a null magic mantle and a phage would be my guess.
And after
Boots
the
is also
first,
good.
yeah, and after the first game, which was a stomp for FBI, TNP are looking much stronger this game. They got first
Yeah.
blood. They have the 1.5k gold lead, and they have the CS advantage in all lanes.
Yeah, I think in this game they just picked better laning matchups. Picking the Vladimir and Urgot, like I said, it can be impressive for Vladimir, but he's definitely shown his holding his own and winning this lane actually. Probably because I think Urgot not managing his gold as well as it could be, but still good job by Polar Bear rebounding. Had a rough first game, is playing very well this game. Also a little bit more proactive mid laner. We saw it already that Noble is willing to come bot lane for a gank opportunity, and now this Cloud Drake being started up by a move. They gotta be careful though. Vladimir did back and does TP, so Vlad could come down for join the fight.
Well, it was 2 Infernal Drakes in game 1, which really helped FBI snowball their lead. A Cloud Drake to kick things off for game 2, and, well, we did see TMP making their way over, but they backed off. They don't want to force a fight. They don't want to risk anything over what is a very annoying Drake right now, as Dark Binding will find his mark. This is bad news, and the bandage toss followed by the curse of the sad mummy. And 2Q will fall as well as flash over the wall. Oh, the flash
Vladimir's coming.
Deny.
Vlad and Ari are coming. This could be a really big.
The charm's gonna land good by Captain Booty. As you mentioned, here comes a Vladimir as well. The Hemo play gets used. Prince will get taken down, but Rap will fall as well. Canada is able to find the damage in the CC as the flip comes in. Barry will buy a little bit of time, but is it quite enough? Canada under turret picks up the kill as the Dark Binding finds its mark. The passive will come through. Ace in the hole takes Booty so low, but not quite low enough. And overall, it's 4 kills for 2 in favor of FBI. Once again, when we get to the team fighting, part of the game. FBI just coming out on top.
Wasn't it a 4 for 3? Or did they get first blood earlier? I don't remember.
TMP already had first blood, yes.
Okay, yeah. I couldn't remember. Oh yeah, they killed the Morgana. But yeah, that was a good fight. You have to, as Caitlyn, you have to flash the Morgana Q right there. If you flash that, the entire fight I think stops, and none of that happens because then they don't full commit with the Amumu ulti and like they don't go in for that dive there. If Caitlyn flashes, she's safe and then can DPS. Still almost Vladimir kind of misplayed a little bit around the red plant, but almost came in and just really cleaned up that fight. Um, Karma was doing a lot of AoE damage. Ari came in and one-shot Sivir. Like, you got some good things happening there for TNP. Good takeaways. I mean, sure, a 4 for 2 is never something you want, but gotta be careful. I think they didn't respect the damage coming out of Cloud Drake there when they procced it. And then it was hurting them.
Oh, Never Move will land, but the Charmer coming out from Noble, and the Foxfire Noble Deception turns the trade around completely.
Yeah, it's pretty much how it's gonna go. Like, if Ari can hit the charm, she's gonna do a lot to the Swain. Zach here, he's ready for a gank, but not much you're gonna be able to do with that.
Yeah, and of course with the Black Shield and Spell Shield, even if they do push forward, you really can't punish it that well. And it is a broken stopwatch now, though, for Major Booty, as that did get used in the previous fight, I do believe. So he's not going to be able to go into stasis for quite a while until he does complete that Zhonya.
Yeah, but Sivir gonna be the big recipient of that last fight. She got 2 kills and assist. She's got a bounty on her head right now. She's doing well on farm. Like, it's gonna be a pretty strong Sivir coming out. It's gonna on her next back. She's gonna be able to finish that Essence Reaver and just gonna be able to keep her mana reserves up. Caitlyn should be able to. If she gets a good buy, she should be able to finish her IE on the next back as well. So there's some item breakpoints to watch out for here in the next few minutes.
As Major Booty playing aggressive will land another Dark Binding, but Captain Booty won't step up as there was a Soul Flare heading his way.
Yeah, Karma Q, it's a lot of damage early, so nice zoning zone utility there. Interesting enough, that's a Bramble Vest coming out from the Urgot into a mostly AP team. It's an interesting choice. I think if you want to apply Grievous Wounds onto Vladimir, I think Executioners would have been the better call, but it's going to give him some armor to deal with the Caitlyn for the later game, so it might just be a solid investment for now. Keeping in mind, like, Caitlyn's their only AP threat later on.
Never Move just shy of finding Noble. The turret plating is going to be falling soon. First turret of the game is still on the cards, as is that first Drake. After both sides had a little look for that Cloud Drake earlier on, they haven't made another attempt as Rap turning up to the top side, but the pool of blood will stop any form of engage.
Yep, and it is not AP, it's a tank Amumu coming out, Center Hulk. Maybe AP build we thought Rap would go. I don't know if they see that they're on Rift Herald, but really should try and start up this dragon in response.
There was a control ward, so they know that they were there. Dark Binding comes through and... Sorry, Binding, I mean Black Shield prevents the damage, the CC. As Let's Bounce coming through at probably... I'm not sure if that was a misclick or if that was intentional from 2Q, but...
I think it was intentional, but at the same time he got hit by a Dark Binding, so as soon as he hit it, he just got stunned. So just kind of unfortunate.
Oh, DNP though will secure the Cloud Drake as Demonic Ascension coming through. Canada gets hit by a charm, and look at all the Caitlyn traps. Oh, that Dark Binding flash over the wall as the Soul Shackles will come through. Good stopwatch though from Prince Bucci as Major Booty sidesteps everything. The flash bandit shots won't be able to find its mark. Maybe the vision of Empire will, but it will be unable to as well. And no kills just yet. Oh no. That is not where you bag Major Booty. As Sad Mummy comes through, is it enough damage onto 2Q? No, not
Zach,
quite. Flashes over the wall, but he will go into his bloblet form, and now the Spirit Rush forward as Charm misses its mark. The Zac will fall. Ace in the hole, good by. Flash forward, never
Oh,
move available. A charm will land from Noble. Flashes over the Dragon Pit wall. Canada though looking
pretty clean.
strong, but he will back off though, looking to keep up the chase. But Noble and Get Merch will just head under turret. All of that started off with Major Booty just backing in the wrong place.
Yeah, it was backing down a ward. I think that may have been blind because there was a control ward in that bush. So Zach just had, I think, a good guess on to where the Morgana was. I don't quote me on it, was blind, but I think it was. That was, yeah, but still not a really best backing place you wanna go there. Really good use of stopwatch too by the Karma to survive and stall for that Zach and the rest of our team to come back. So that's a really good fight by TNP.
Oh, and as it has been pointed out in the live chat, 10 flashes used in that fight. As
Really?
I think this Vladimir might be gone. Fear Beyond Death will land.
Oh.
Guten Tag, says Furies. Wait, hang on. Pardon me, says Feathers.
Yeah. Had to ask the chat here, but did Vladimir solo kill the Urgot up top lane while all those fights were happening? Because I don't remember Urgot ever.
Oh, the Soul Shackle's coming in. Goodbye, Get Murked, and Prince Poochie will get hit by the CC as well. It's a double kill for the Sivir. 5 and 2 now.
Yeah, well, TNP was starting to get a hold back into this game, then FBI just bringing it right back with the Rift Herald and a double kill bot lane. Yeah, it's pretty rough. It's probably going to be a bot turret as well. A lot of damage coming down this mid lane. Oh, might be able to get a return kill here though. No.
Yeah, Rap gets taken down. Canada might be looking to find something in return, but the barrier will come through. 2Q's a little bit low as the demonic ascension comes out and can't quite do anything as Dark Binding hits the Gromp, but Captain doesn't really want to pick it up. Actually, they will go for it now, but they back off after they get murked and Prince Poochie return to lane.
Yeah, one thing to mention here, it's a level 10 Sivir to only 8 Caitlyn.
Oh wow.
Captain Booty and Major Booty just again flexing their duo might.
How is Get Murked this far behind?
All those shenanigans happening in the blue side jungle, I think, really started hurting the Caitlyn. Where Sivir was always getting her farm, but and then looking for a fight, and then the Caitlyn was always one of the first ones to run for getting engaged on. So it's pretty rough because I think she's only hit like 20 CS last like 5 or 6 minutes, so it's pretty rough times for the Caitlyn right now. And Sivir is well on her way to being really strong. Should be able to pick up an IE on her next back, compared to not even finished boots and not even finished not even the Zeal finished on the Caitlyn. Yeah. We'll say though, Vladimir is getting really strong. He's working to that Zonya's Hourglass. Zach's been doing really well for them too, and Noble on this Ahri pick is like also strong. So you got some good things going for you for TNP. Got some more things to button down, and trying to finish off this Sivir. That's gonna be tough. But the Swain also going for the Leandry second. He's gonna be also doing a lot of damage, and with the row of Leandry, he's gonna have a lot of HP to have to burn through.
Oh, as the Elastic Slingshot coming in, 2Q might have stepped up a bit too far as Soul Shackles come out. As the Let's Bounce coming in, Major Booty will get taken down as the Ahri finds the pick. Get Murked though, Demonic Ascension, and the kill will go over to Canada as it is 3 kills for 1. FBI coming on top yet again. The Infernal Drake is now spawning, and FBI will be looking to pick up their first Drake of the game and their 3rd Infernal Drake of the series.
Yeah, Morgana just completely zoned off the bot lane and Noble of TNP there. And just Zach just died all alone. I don't know if they saw that Mumu was there. It's some pretty bad luck. I think they just assumed it was the Sivir and the Morgana there, and having him and Swain nearby also turned that fight their way. And an Infernal Drake going over to FBI. They're back on track and in full control of this game. And that is now an I.
Elastic slingshot in from 2Q as 13 tries
Oh,
to
that's
find
nice.
his mark. Prince Poochie joins the fight as well. It's a 4v2. All the focus onto Canada, and the shutdown will be going
Nice.
over to get murked. Is Canada? Oh, sorry, not Captain Booty, just sort of forcing Polar away from the blue buff.
Yeah, I think that 700 gold shutdown going to Caitlyn's actually really big. It's gonna help. Probably give her Zeal item now. Or get
Elastic
close to
slingshot.
it.
The charm though is cancelled by the Black Shield, but Polar
Vladimir, though.
Bear.
Oh,
Polar
yeah.
Bear way too aggressive, gets taken down, and a lot of damage coming through onto FBI, but not quite enough as Azaka will get taken down. 2 kills going over to FBI for nothing after TMP found such a good pick onto Canada.
Yeah, Vladimir sitting on was sitting on a fully finished Zhonya's too, and thought maybe he had Zhonya's up already, because that would have been a great play if he's able to get his full rotation off and then Zhonya's, and then his damage gets lands from the plague.
He
But
couldn't even go into hit Pool of Blood. I thought he had that up, but maybe he didn't.
I don't know. I didn't see if he got like just CC'd down and then just couldn't do anything. But yeah, a little bit of a greedy play. I was about to say, oh man, Vlad flanking this guy completely obliterated.
Oh no, Nevermove finds his mark, and
Yep.
the boomerang blade doesn't even need to land.
Swayman's been doing a lot.
Here's the weird thing that I'm finding about this series so far, Matt. Game 1, it was get murked who was the star for TNP, and my win condition before we headed into draft was TNP need to get their top and their mid going. They've done exactly that this game. Both of them have one lane, and this time though, it's get murked who's been having a pretty torrid affair in the bot lane.
Yeah, I mean, he's still doing fine in gold. He's died a lot more, but actually, he has more gold in the army. Like, Noble's been roaming and he's been participating in these fights, but he hasn't been farming that much. And so, Keelan in that aspect still, like, not farming as much, was able to pick up that big shutdown, really is what given him the more gold. But if you go into this Glacial Augment R, you don't need as much gold. You got your 2 cheaper items in GLP and Twin Shadows. This is like your power spec right now. Like, you're super effective right here. Of course, you're going to want to pick up like a Death Cap or a Zhonya's next to really give yourself some damage besides utility. But yeah, I think you're looking comparing NDCs here. You got a 2-item Sivir and to a 1.5 item Caitlyn. It's at this point like Sivir's always going to be doing more damage than Caitlyn.
Yeah. Until very, very late game as well.
I think
Dark
even
Binding's gonna learn.
It's probably a dead Vladimir. Oh, he's got flash. He's fine. But yeah, I think even super late game, I think with the ricochets and 100% crit probably coming out Sivir, I just think Sivir's always going to be doing more damage.
Baron has been started. FBI have already set up a
not even
really good vision control.
It's going to be free.
Yeah, no contestation. Zach over at the Drake pit right now, and Baron down to 3000 HP. No contestation. FBI will pick up the Baron 23 minutes in. They'll reset and probably just look to push in the mid and the bot sides of the map, as Noble looking up to pick up and will pick up the second turret of the game for TNP.
Yeah, I mean, that's something. Sivir actually didn't. Oh, is she back then? Okay. I was about to say I had the gold for a Zeal item, but didn't. Yeah, it looks like they might be able to pick up this bot turret too before. Actually, no. FBI is going to be able to respond to time here. Good job though by TNP trying to, you know, take down these last outer turrets. Playing a dangerous game here though. Yeah, so got to be careful for the ulti there. But yeah, at this point, I think you wanna, if you're a TNP, I'd try to keep stalling this game out as long as possible, because the more farm on my Caitlyn and Vladimir, the better. They're probably gonna want to contest this Infernal. I don't think they should, but they're probably going to.
Yeah. We saw TNP contest the Cloud Drake in game 1.
Yeah.
So with the Infernal, it's probably more likely that they'll contest. However, with them being on the red side of the map, it may be a bit difficult for them to get in. As here we go, Elastic Slingshot in. The Zac gets burnt down instantly, but Wrap. Oh, he finds a 4-man ultimate. That is a huge. Twin Shadows will come through as a Sivir gets taken down, deleted by Polar Bear, who goes into stasis. Wrap Stuck in a bit of a tricky situation, able to sidestep the Piltover Peacemaker as he's currently 3.
Oh,
2 kills
man.
for 1, but they find the pick on to get murked as the charm just short. As Prince Poochie, surely he's going to get taken down, will use the shield to get himself away, the Inspire, but yeah,
Oh,
he
tried.
runs right back into the Urgot as Canada massively slowed on the turret and almost gets killed just from the slow alone as Drake down to 1000 HP. Rap should be able to pick this one up, and he will be able to indeed, despite not having his smite available.
Yeah, and I think why Zach just got bursted down there so fast, he didn't proc his aftershock, so he's only second health right now. He's only got a Warmonks in it. So he didn't have those extra resistances to keep himself alive. And when your tank is just instantly dying like that, you hate to see it. Also, a Bramblebus coming out of a Mumu too into a mostly AP comp. Like, I'm curious to see, like, I know they want to stop the healing of Vladimir, but I don't think Vladimir is going to be autoing that much.
There's something
but
called a Morello and an Executionist that you can get instead.
yeah, exactly. And Caitlyn's not doing any damage right now. I don't exactly think you need armor.
Charm finds Mark Elastic Slingshot in, will be able to find 2. Stretching Strike
Nice.
finds the CC, and there lets them bounce. They find the Sivir as well. On the hunt is used. Captain Booty should be able to make it out of this, but Elastic Slingshot once again. Captain Booty finds 1. Can he find a second? Yes, he can.
Triple.
It's a triple kill with the ricochets coming in big. However, Rap and Feathers are here. Too cute. Gets taken down low. The Flash Curse of the Sad Mummy comes in. Good by Polar Bear. No, Transfusion comes in, and the stopwatch will be used as Q will survive. There's no focus onto him whatsoever.
Don't go back in.
Will
Get out.
not be
Kill
able
Vladimir,
to find
no.
his mark. Too cute though. The shotgun finds the kill. Polar Bear Mini though running for his life as Tides of Flood. No one is in range, and so close to an ace there from FBI, but they just couldn't find the damage as a final transfusion from Polar Bear keeps himself alive.
It was so close to being really clean, but Sivir bringing down 3, like taking down 3 in a 1v4 is just really impressive. But yeah, it's crits on the ricochets just destroyed the members of TNP.
Caitlyn the hole?
Yeah. Caitlyn were able to get a couple kills though, so she's getting close to her 3rd item. 3-item Vladimir, so he's starting to get to his breakpoint. Probably looking at a death cap next. Once he hits that, he's going to be really scary. So, like, if I'm TNP, you're down 6k right now, but I think, you know, if you can stall this game out a little bit longer and have the scaling, because you're seeing that they do have enough damage. Like, they can burst down the Sivir. The problem was Phantom Dancer and then the Ricochet is able just to keep her alive long enough to
It's not hard to burst down the Sivir in a 4v1 though, is it?
True, but like they burst her down at the beginning of that. Where they popped really Morg at the beginning and almost killed Sivir at the beginning as well. So like giving a little bit more damage, I think, you know, they'll just kill
Dark
him.
Binding finds his mark. The Boomerang Blade will follow. Look at the damage! Oh, the shield is huge and is a clutch. Vision of
There's
Empire.
also barrier. There's also barrier shield. That's why it was really big. But yeah, this finally someone buying Executioners and not Bramble Vest. Thank you, Sivir. Yeah. I'm still perplexed by the Bramble Vest, but it's fine. When you're that ahead, you don't really.
It's from two different champions as well. If it was from one, you can kind of understand it, but from two, it's almost like, you know, FBI don't know who's actually frontlining here.
Yeah, and I guess they don't really know, like, they're not getting auto attacked, I think, as much as they are. Like, Caitlyn's really the one attacking. I would have liked to see, like, I don't know why a second armor item is coming out. I don't know what item. Oh, it's gonna be a full Thornmail coming.
Yeah, I think the trick is that they know that Noble has to auto attack to get the glacial proc off. That's why the Bramble Vest is coming out.
Maybe. I think they're just respecting the Caitlyn damage too much.
Oh, Flash to dodge the charm. However, can Feathers make it out of this? He's getting slowed for days. The second charm will land. Where is the rest of FBI? They're looking to collapse on TNP instead of pushing. Can They find the pick, never
Oh,
move, come
ouch.
so close, but the dart
Oh,
binding will land. Bandage toss, goodbye Noble.
oh,
Elastic slingshot, here comes the fight. Look at Captain Booty just dishing out the
Vladimir though.
boomerangs. Is it
Oh, never mind.
enough as that's going to be, oh no,
Uh,
absolutely nothing. No answer from a TNP. Goodbye, Prince Poochie, as the
oh,
Ignite ticks down. It's a
I love
good
minions.
shield coming in, but it is not enough. 4 kills for nothing after Feathers initially got taken down, and now the second Baron of the game has been started, but and a Mumu, a Swain, and a Morgana. This isn't exactly your Baron taking comp,
I got Simmer.
but Sivir has turned up. Yeah, pardon me.
Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed that Vladimir, he had the option to either go on like the Morgana and Sivir or the tanks, and then he went for the tanks. So I think just if he gets his full rotation off on Sivir there, I think she just dies. But he just decided to focus the Swain and a Mumu, and I think after that, no one touched the Sivir, and you got a late game Sivir just free hitting people. I think you're always gonna lose that fight.
Yeah,
Ah,
and there's not too much that Zach can do either. He can jump in, but there's a
he had a
flat
great
shield,
engage.
there's a
Great
spill.
engage.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think it was well played until Vladimir decided to not try and burst the Sivir, because that's right. That's your job right now as well. You want to come in on a flank, and you need to blow up Sivir to win the. If Sivir doesn't die early in the fight, you're just gonna get out DPS. And
Did,
he's got a void staff. He's got a proto belt. He can get on the Sivir. At least force her to flash or something for the next fight.
hmm. Until that Mountain Drake, we have had exactly the same Drakes, albeit in a different order from game 1. Here we go, though, as Feathers might be getting caught out again. Uses the Disdain to knock 2Q away, but just getting CC'd forever. Dark Binding going to be able to land, but
They're all
look
really
at the
low.
bot lane. No,
Yeah.
as you mentioned, Demonic Ascension coming in. 2Q doesn't have much places to go. Soul Shackles coming in. Booty Hole. Does he have the Zonyas? Yes, he does, as he flashed Zonyas away. The focus now coming onto the Zac Bloblet. Says, that's a never move landing. 2Q will jump, but he'll jump straight onto the Swain. Flashes over the wall and to safety. But meanwhile, in the bot lane, who needs a Sivir in the team fight? Never move lands. Goodbye, Zac. As the split pushing Sivir finds the inhibitor turret, finds the inhibitor, and this is going to be FBI going for the kill. They find a pick. Do they go easy on TMP? No, they don't. They go straight for the throw as a flash bandage toss won't be able to find his mark as Noble flashes himself, never move. Gonna be able to land, and that is another kill. Major Booty so low, but the Nexus is also low. FBI pick up the 2-0. They won't be able to get the kill in time, but it doesn't matter at all. FBI take the win, and they will be your Rampage Open top seeds heading into playoffs.
Yeah, and I think this is a statement here because TNP have been looking really good before. Like I said, both these teams are fighting for the top seed in the tournament. See who's going to be the favorite for the Rampage tourney, and with a pretty convincing. Excuse me.
Wow. It was a clean game as well from FBI. It was looking a little bit iffy in those first 15 minutes, but once we got to the point where we started seeing the team fights coming in, FBI once again always looked in control.
Ooh, excuse me. I decided to die there. Oh my god. But yeah, yeah. I think TNP, like, this was a good team going in, and FBI just showed. I think they're going to be the tournament favorites heading
Yeah.
into, and I think they're probably just based on the last couple weeks of seeing them and this week's performance. I don't know if a team could really beat them because that ball lane is just so good of theirs.
Yeah, these two teams were arguably the two favorites for the entire tournament. So, now Fat Booty Inspectors are your top seed, and team name pending are your second seed, but both of them were undefeated coming into I forget the term for it. And I mean, Fat Booty Inspectors, they pick up another win, and people expected this to be the finals. And while team name pending did kind of show up more in game 2, I think Fat Booty Inspectors are definitely our favorites.
Yeah, I think, and their ability just to kind of carry out of every, like, of course they have their ball, Captain Booty and Mate. But in the first game, we saw Feathers and Fur carry out of the top lane. And now Canada, this game, also carried on the Swain. So I think their ability, they have great team play. They always play around objectives. They know, like, They always have good vision control, and they also their ability to kind of play through any lane, but always having that bot lane to be really strong too. It just gives them a lot of versatility in draft and how they play the map. Because like Rap hardly ever comes bot lane, and he's always kind of around this top side of the map, getting them leads there, and then their bot lane's just able to win. Because I think coming in like TNPs, they have a good bot lane. Like I thought it was one of the better of Rampage, and then Captain and Major Beauty just made him look silly this series.
All right. Well, I think this is a pretty good point to wrap it up. Before we do head off, Matt, who do we want to give our MVP to?
That's a good question. Probably gonna give it to Major Booty Hole. I would say really good Morgana play in this game, and then last game on the Leona was also very good. So I think that'd be my pick. I think really you can pick really anybody off of FPI. They all played really well. Feathers had that great first game. Rap was everywhere on the map, proactive, and Canada was really straight up a game two. It was also pretty good game one, and then of course Captain Booty. But I'm gonna give the support some love series.
All right. So Major Beauty will be picking up our MVP. Thank you everyone for watching. If you are feeling tired and you're going to head to bed, we wish you a good night. However, if you are looking for a bit more league, head on over to Risen Esports 2. There is a Kane jungle. I don't know if you need more reason to watch some leagues. So head on over to that. It is the Rampage pre-made going on. And that is Lemons and Go for casting on that one. But for myself and Matt, it is all that we have for you guys tonight. So stay tilt proof on the Rift, and we'll see you next time.